Emma's heart was stopping, and all the money in the world couldn't save her. Mr. Harrison stood by his daughter's bed, watching the green line on the machine jump up and down like a tired grasshopper. Each beat felt like a tiny clock ticking away the last moments of his little girl's life. Outside the giant windows of their mansion, the city sparkled with a million lights. But inside this room, everything was dark and cold, like winter had moved into their hearts. "Daddy," Emma whispered. Her voice was so soft, like a butterfly's wing brushing against a flower. "I'm here, sweetheart," Mr. Harrison said, holding her small hand. Her fingers felt like ice, even though 5 blankets covered her body. He remembered when those same hands used to pull on his tie, sticky with chocolate, laughing about nothing and everything. That was 6 months ago, before the sickness came. Dr. Matthews walked into the room, his white coat making a swishing sound. His face looked like someone had erased all the happiness from it. Mr. Harrison knew that look. He had seen it on 15 other doctors' faces. It was a look that said, "I'm sorry, but there's nothing more we can do." "Mr. Harrison, may I speak with you outside?" Dr. Matthews asked quietly. Emma was sleeping now, her chest moving up and down in tiny breaths. Mr. Harrison kissed her forehead. It was hot like a stove, and walked into the hallway. His shoes clicked on the marble floor. Everything in this house was expensive. The paintings cost more than some people's homes. The chandeliers sparkled with crystals from faraway countries. The carpets were soft enough to sleep on. But none of it mattered, not one single bit. "How long does she have?" Mr. Harrison asked. His voice cracked like a broken glass. Dr. Matthews looked down at his shiny black shoes. 3 days. Maybe 4 if we're lucky. Her body is too weak. The medicine isn't working anymore. Her heart is giving up, and He stopped talking and shook his head. "I'm so very sorry. 3 days, 72 hours, 4,320 minutes. Mr. Harrison felt like someone had punched him in the stomach. He was the richest man in the city. He owned buildings that touched the clouds. He had cars that cost more than rockets. He could buy anything, go anywhere, meet anyone, but he couldn't buy more time for Emma. "There must be something," Mr. Harrison said, grabbing the doctor's arm. "Someone, somewhere, a special treatment, an experimental drug. I'll pay anything. $10 million, $20 million. Name your price." Dr. Matthews pulled his arm away gently. "Mr. Harrison, we've tried everything. Every specialist in the world has looked at her case. Sometimes money can't fix things. Sometimes all we can do is make her comfortable and—" "No!" Mr. Harrison's shout echoed down the long hallway like thunder. "Don't tell me to give up. She's 7 years old. She hasn't even lost her first tooth yet. She still believes in fairy tales and magic," and his voice broke into pieces. Tears ran down his face, and he didn't wipe them away. Rich men aren't supposed to cry. That's what his father taught him. "Tears are for the weak," the old man used to say. But right now, Mr. Harrison didn't care about being strong. He didn't care about business meetings or stock markets or what people thought. He only cared about Emma. Dr. Matthews put a hand on his shoulder. "I wish I had better news. I truly do. All we can do now is pray." Pray. That word felt strange. Mr. Harrison hadn't prayed since he was a little boy. When you're rich, you don't need to pray. You just buy what you want. You solve problems with money and power and lawyers. But this problem was different. He walked back into Emma's room and sat in the big leather chair next to her bed. The machines beeped their sad song. Outside, rain started to fall, tapping against the windows like tiny fingers asking come in. Emma's teddy bear sat on the nightstand, Mr. Fuzzy, she called him. One of his button eyes was hanging by a thread. Emma had begged Mr. Harrison not to buy her a new one. "This one knows all my secrets," she had said, hugging the old bear tight. Mr. Harrison picked up Mr. Fuzzy and held him close. He smelled like Emma, like strawberry shampoo and sunshine and everything good in the world. "Please," Mr. Harrison whispered to nobody and everybody, "if anyone is listening, if there's any magic left in this world, please save my little girl. I'll give everything I have, every dollar, every building, Every car. Just let her live. Just let her laugh again. The rain got louder, drumming on the roof like 100 horses running. The mansion felt too big, too empty, too quiet except for those terrible beeping machines. 3 days to live. Mr. Harrison closed his eyes and held his daughter's cold hand, wishing for a miracle he didn't believe in anymore. But sometimes miracles come from the strangest places. Sometimes they come barefoot in the rain. Sometimes they knock on golden gates with nothing but a bottle and a promise. And sometimes, just sometimes, they arrive exactly when hope is run out. Outside the mansion walls, someone was coming. Someone small and wet and determined. Someone carrying something that glowed in the darkness like a tiny star. The clock was ticking. Emma's heart was fading. And a boy with no shoes was about to change everything. The knock on the golden gate was so soft, the guards almost didn't hear it. Bang, bang, bang. There was again, louder this time. Marcus, the head security guard, looked up from his coffee. It was past midnight. Rain poured down like the sky was crying. Nobody visited the Harrison mansion this late. Nobody was crazy enough to walk in this storm. But someone was knocking. Marcus grabbed his flashlight and walked to the giant iron gate. It was 15 feet tall, painted gold, with spikes on top that looked like dragon teeth. The gate cost more than most people earn in their whole lives. Through the bars, Marcus saw him. A boy, maybe 10 years old, maybe younger. It was hard to tell because he was so skinny. His clothes were torn and muddy. His feet were bare, covered in cuts and dirt. His black hair stuck to his face like wet feathers. Rain dripped off his nose and chin. But his eyes were bright and clear, like 2 stars shining in the darkness. "Kid, you lost?" Marcus asked, shining his flashlight. "This is private property. You need to go home." The boy didn't move. He held something wrapped in old cloth against his chest, protecting from the rain like it was the most precious thing in the world. "I need to see Mr. Harrison," the boy said. His voice was calm and strong, not scared at all. Marcus almost laughed. "The Mr. Harrison? Son, do you know who lives here? He's the richest man in the city. He doesn't see people without appointments. Especially not kids who show up in the middle of the night, looking like drowned rats. His daughter is dying." The boy said simply, "I can help her." The smile fell off Marcus's face. How did this street kid know about Emma? The family kept her sickness private. No newspapers. No reporters. It was a secret. "Who told you about how you—" Marcus stammered. "Please," the boy said, stepping closer to the gate. Water ran down his face, but Marcus couldn't tell if it was rain or tears. "I don't have much time." "She doesn't have much time. Let me see him." "Look, kid, I don't know what game you're playing, but it's not a game." The boy's voice rose like thunder. "My mama told me before she died. She said, when the time comes, take the bottle to the big house on the hill. Find the man with the broken heart. He will need what you carry." I walked for 3 days to get here. My feet are bleeding. I'm cold and hungry and scared. But I made a promise to my mama. Please, please let me in." Marcus stared at the boy. Something in those bright eyes made his skin tingle. Something that felt like truth. "What's in the bottle?" Marcus asked quietly. The boy carefully unwrapped the cloth. Inside was a small glass bottle, no bigger than Marcus's thumb, and it was glowing. Soft golden light pulsed inside it like a tiny heartbeat. "What the—" Marcus stepped back. "My mama called it liquid hope," the boy said. "It comes from the old country, from mountains where holy people pray. It heals the sick, but only if given by someone with a pure heart, only if the person taking it has faith." He looked up at Marcus with those impossibly bright eyes. "I walked 3 days in the rain because my mama believed. Now I'm asking you to believe too." Marcus's hand shook as he reached for his walkie-talkie. This was crazy. This was impossible. Glowing bottles? Magic medicine? Pure hearts? But what if it was real? "I'm calling Mr. Harrison," Marcus said. "But if this is some kind of trick, kid, if you're lying—" "I'm not lying," the boy said softly. "I've never told a lie in my whole life. Mama said lies poison the soul, and you can't heal people with a poisoned soul. Up in Emma's room, Mr. Harrison's phone buzzed. He wanted to throw it across the room. Who would call now? Didn't they know his daughter was dying? What? He snapped. Sir, this is Marcus at the front gate. I know this sounds insane, but there's a boy here. He says he can help Emma. He has some kind of medicine. Mr. Harrison felt anger rise in his chest like hot lava. A boy? At midnight? Marcus, I'm in no mood for her. Sir, he knew about Emma. He knew she was sick. And he has this bottle that... It glows, sir. I've never seen anything like it. Glows? Mr. Harrison stood up. His heart pounded. This was ridiculous. Probably some con artist trick. Some poor kid being used to scam money from desperate people. But Dr. Matthews said 3 days. 3 days before Emma's heart stopped forever. What did he have to lose? Bring him to the main door, Mr. Harrison said. But Marcus, stay with him, if this is a trick. Understood, sir. 5 minutes later, the stairs seemed to go on forever. Mr. Harrison walked ahead, his heart hammering like a drum. Behind him, the barefoot boy climbed quietly, leaving wet footprints on each step. Marcus followed at the back, his hand near his phone, ready to call for help if something went wrong. But what could go more wrong than a daughter dying? They reached Emma's room. The door was white with golden handles shaped like angels. Mr. Harrison's hand shook as he turned the knob. Wait, he said, spinning around to face the boy. Before we go in, before I let you anywhere near my daughter, tell me the truth. What's really in that bottle? The boy looked up at him with those impossibly clear eyes. Hope, he said simply, mixed with faith, blessed by prayers. My mama said it was made by monks who live in mountains so high they touch the clouds. They collect morning dew from flowers that only bloom once every 100 years. They pray over it for 7 days and 7 nights. It glows because it holds pieces of miracles inside. That's impossible, Mr. Harrison whispered. But even as he said it, he watched the bottle pulse with golden light, like a tiny sun trapped in glass. 3 days ago you prayed, the boy said softly. I heard it, all the way across the city, under my bridge. I heard your heart crying out. You said you'd give everything you own, every dollar, every building, every car. You just wanted your daughter to laugh again. The boy stepped closer. I'm not here for your money, Mr. Harrison. I'm here because sometimes the universe answers prayers to the most unexpected people. Mr. Harrison felt tears burning in his eyes. And if it doesn't work, if this is just colored water or some trick, then I'll leave and you'll never see me again, the boy said. But if you don't try, if you let fear win, you'll spend the rest of your life wondering if maybe, just maybe, miracles are real. Mr. Harrison looked at Marcus. The guard nodded slowly. What choice did they have? He opened the door. Emma lay in her bed, so small and pale she almost disappeared into the white sheets. The machines beeped their sad rhythm. Her breathing was shallow, like a whisper tried to become a word. The boy walked to her bedside. His muddy feet left tracks on the clean floor, but nobody cared. He unwrapped the bottle carefully, like he was unwrapping a baby bird. The glow filled the room. Golden light danced on the walls, on the ceiling, on Emma's pale face. Even the machines seemed to beep softer, like they were watching, waiting, hoping. You have to believe, the boy said, looking at Mr. Harrison. That's the most important part. The medicine only works if you believe it can. If you let doubt into your heart, the magic breaks. I want to believe, Mr. Harrison choked out. I do, but I'm scared. What if? Fear and faith can't live in the same heart, the boy said gently. You have to choose. Right now, this second, do you believe your daughter can be healed? Mr. Harrison looked at Emma, at her button nose, at her small hands, at Mr. Fuzzy sitting on the nightstand, watching with his one good eye. He thought about her laugh, the way it sounded like bells ringing. He thought about how she'd dance in the kitchen when she thought nobody was watching. He thought about the way she'd wrap her arms around his neck and whisper, I love you, Daddy, like it was the most important secret in the world. And he chose. I believe, Mr. Harrison whispered. Then louder, "I believe—" The boy smiled. It was the first time he'd smiled since arriving, and it was like watching the sun break through storm clouds. He opened the bottle. The glow grew brighter, filling every corner of the room with warm, golden light. The air smelled like flowers and rain and something else, something that felt like hope turned into perfume. "One drop," the boy said. "That's all it takes. But it has to touch her lips while someone who loves her speaks her name." Mr. Harrison stepped forward. His hand trembled as he touched Emma's face. "Emma," he said, his voice breaking. "Emma Grace Harrison. My daughter. My heart. My whole world." The boy tilted the bottle. One single drop fell out, glowing like a tiny star. It fell through the air in slow motion, so slow that everyone in the room held their breath. The drop touched Emma's lips, and everything changed. At first, nothing happened. The machines kept beeping. Emma kept sleeping. Mr. Harrison felt his hope crumbling like sand through his fingers. But then, Emma's finger twitched. The beeping on the heart monitor got stronger, louder, faster. The weak, tired sound became powerful, like a drum announcing that life was coming back. Color flooded into Emma's cheeks, pink and warm and alive. Her chest rose higher with each breath. Her eyelids fluttered like butterfly wings. "Emma?" Mr. Harrison gasped, grabbing her hand. Her eyes opened, those beautiful green eyes that he thought he'd never see open again. They looked around the room, confused at first, then focused on her father's face. "Daddy," she said, her voice small but clear, "why are you crying?" Mr. Harrison laughed and sobbed at the same time, pulling her into the gentlest hug in the world. "Because I'm happy, sweetheart. Because you're back. Because miracles are real." Emma hugged him back, her little arms strong again. "I had the strangest dream," she said. "There was a boy with bright eyes who told me it wasn't my time yet. He said I still had to grow up and do important things." "Was it a dream, Daddy?" Mr. Harrison turned to tell the boy thank you, to offer him anything, everything, the world itself. But the boy was gone. The window was open, curtains dancing in the breeze. Rain had stopped. The first light of morning crept over the horizon, painting the sky pink and gold. On the nightstand, next to Mr. Fuzzy, sat the empty bottle, still glowing softly. Marcus ran to the window and looked out. He just vanished, like he was never here. But the wet footprints on the floor proved he was real. The empty bottle proved the miracle was real. And Emma, sitting up in bed asking for breakfast, proved that sometimes the impossible happens. Dr. Matthews arrived an hour later. He ran every test twice, then 3 times, then called in 5 other doctors because nobody could believe it. Emma's sickness was gone, completely, like it had never existed. This is medically impossible," Dr. Matthews kept saying, staring at the test results. "Yesterday she had hours to live. Now she's healthier than me. What happened?" Mr. Harrison smiled and looked at the glowing bottle. "Love," he said simply. "Love happened." 3 months later, Mr. Harrison stood in front of a brand new building. It was 7 stories tall, painted bright colors like a rainbow. Above the door, golden letters spelled out, "The Hope House Children's Hospital, where miracles begin." Inside, sick children from all over the city got free treatment. The best doctors, the best medicine, the best care. It didn't matter if their families were rich or poor. Everyone was welcome. Emma stood beside her father, healthy and strong, her hair in pigtails. She carried Mr. Fuzzy everywhere now, telling him about all the children they were going to help. In the hospital garden, workers unveiled a statue. It showed a barefoot boy holding a glowing bottle. His eyes looked kind. His smile looked peaceful. At the base, words were carved into stone. Sometimes love heals more than science. Miracles begin with kindness. Mr. Harrison never found the boy. He searched everywhere. He asked everyone. He offered rewards. But nobody had seen him. Nobody knew his name. Some people said he was an angel. Some said he was just a dream. Some said magic doesn't exist, and the whole thing was just lucky timing. But Emma knew the truth. She felt it in her heart every single day. The boy was real. The miracle was real. And kindness, pure, simple kindness, was the most powerful medicine in the world. Every night before bed, Emma would hold the glowing bottle. Mr. Harrison kept it safe in a special case and whisper, "Thank you. Wherever you are, I'll spend my whole life helping others, just like you helped me." And somewhere out in the big, wide world, maybe under a different bridge or climbing a different mountain, a barefoot boy smiled. Because miracles don't need credit. They just need to be believed. Did this story touch your heart? Share it with someone who needs to believe in miracles. And subscribe for more stories that remind us that kindness can change everything. Because sometimes the smallest act of love create the biggest miracles. Remember, miracles begin with kindness. Pass it on.